Hi everybody, it's Jules with you today. How are you? We're going to do a very similar cane as we did yesterday. And we're using pink and white today. And I already did my Skinner blend, rolled it up as you can see. It's all ready to go. And what I did was put it in the refrigerator because I created it a little bit early today. And then that way it will not squeeze down too softly, hopefully. So I have some cutters, clay cutters, and we'll be using one or two of those today. I have my tissue blade, as we always talk about, make sure you're using it correctly. My acrylic block and my roller. Parchment paper. Cling wrap. And this is what we have and have had since yesterday. Now this is a tray. Goes into my toaster machine. And this is the pendant that we made from the blend that I made yesterday. And let's see, hopefully you can see that. I have a Swarovski crystal blue right there. I chose to have my pendant this way on the side, landscape instead of portrait. This is the back. I think we talked a little bit about that, and this is a glue-on bail. So that is what our pendant turned out like yesterday. Now I already made a few of these, and they're kaleidoscope. I think they are. This one here is more of just a design. But we are going to use this as our backing, as our scrap piece, and we'll be using that later. We have our wipe. We'll wipe our hands. Look at that pink already. That did not take long. All right. Here's how we're going to do it. We're doing halves, and then we're doing quarters. And you want to try your very, very best to make sure you have equal parts. And we're going to do the seesaw cut all the way down. I'm going to hold that together, and then I'm going to turn. And I'm going to seesaw down. And it's much better than it was earlier today before I put it in the refrigerator. It was very, very soft. And boy, can it really mess up your clay when it's really, really soft like that. So if you need to let it rest, or if you need to put it in the refrigerator, you need to do it, because otherwise it'll smush down your print, your design, your lines. I'm just going to bend in this portion here, and we're going to join them together a little bit, just like that. And we're going to work just like we did yesterday. If you saw the previous video. And I tell you, I seen some videos today that were very nice. I can't wait to get started on those as well. And now that we have these blends down, boy, this is really moving along. We'll be able to use these blends. All you need to do is go back and review how the blends were made. And once you get used to it, you can just start pumping away. Now, yesterday, if you didn't get that video, I'm sure you've been watching how I've been doing this. We cut it in equal parts, and now we're going to make it into a triangle. And I can tell the difference, and I'm glad that I could tell the difference of the conditioning of the clay. Now what I'm going to do is wipe my fingers again because I'm going to go towards the white. And I want to push that up without too much of the pink / red coming up towards the tip of my cane that I'm making. I'm going to wipe again. And look, it's it's coming off. I don't think all clays, you know, necessarily are like that. Maybe some, I don't know how they color, you know, exactly what color, how they color it, what it is that colors that clay. So I got to tell you though, sometimes it comes off really easily, and other times I barely get any on my hands. And I have not really been able to decide whether or not that's a brand, that has to do with a certain brand. And all I'm doing is taking right now is the sharpness off of that triangle, and that's what we're making, a triangle. We're gonna push this down just like this. We'll push this down like this, and we're going to make hopefully a very beautiful kaleidoscope. I'll pinch that some more. Design. And it's just a lot of pushing. This is my ruler, by the way. It's not a blade. It gets in the way. Occasionally I use it. It's good to have one next to you in case you want to be a little more precise and definite about your halves and quarters and whatnot. All right. We're getting ready to do the first cut. Let me see here. Let me bend this down. All right. See that? Wobble that down a little bit so it's not too. One more time. Perfect. All right. I don't know about perfect, but close. See the blade? Turn it down. All right. Look at that. Very beautiful, huh? We're just beginning too. So what we want to do is make this into another triangle. And the way we do that is exactly how I just did it. We pushed it down, flattened it out. See, it's my bottom. Now it's a little different because we used the white, a little bit of the white. Push and squeeze, push and squeeze. There's a lot of that. Reduce. That's a famous word too. Reduce. I don't know if I told you all or not, but since we have to talk while we're doing this, it'll be kind of awkward if we're just silent, but I belong to a group. It's called With Gucci Rock Hounds. Wonderful group of people here in Spring Hill, Florida. And we do a lot of different things with rock, stones, minerals, gems, fossils. And we just had our show. And I also love to mine. And in the future, I will be mining. And maybe we can learn a few things together when we do that. I like to learn together. I like that thought process. Makes me feel like humble, even when I know how to do something fairly well. I think you can always teach me something, and I think I can always teach you something, and we can work together. We have a jewelry class of about 16 people at the With Gucci Rock Hounds, amongst other things. And we also teach silversmithing, cabochoning, rock cutting, lots of things. We have a lot of fun. If you're ever in the area, or if you are in the area, you should come and check us out. All right, here we go. We're going to do the next cut. It's going to be the one that I did yesterday in the last tutorial. It was a little bit unusual. We looked at it. And this time we're going to put it together. It's going to come down like this. And then we're going to turn it upside down like that. And this time we are going to make it into a square. So I like to do this. I use my acrylic block and I proceed to make a square. Okay, it sticks to the glass really well. Sometimes too well. Now you push, squeeze, slightly pull, and what are we doing? Reducing. As we reduce, it gets a little bit longer, stretches out a little bit more, and I really like this because I really like to be on the precise angle. You can do it like that too, but you really don't. You don't need it for that. You could really do it much better like that. Yeah. Okay. And what I want to do is make it a little bit more pudgy. So I'm going to gradually do that. And push up. Now when I cut it this time, that's where I stopped the last time. We might not do that. We might go one more time. And remember, the more you do, what you're actually doing is making more designs in your kaleidoscope. And we're going to join them together. Now see, earlier this was not cooperating, and now it's just really doing a wonderful job. Now, as you can see, that's where we are with it. Now, I'm going to have to probably take a little bit of loss here on my cane because I didn't get it equaled up, but that's okay. I could make maybe some earrings out of it to match because it's the same color. And I'm prepared to do that, and I'll show you what I mean by that in case you haven't already caught that. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. The next important thing with this kind of a cane is to make sure that you line this up when you make these cuts exactly the way you need them to be lined up. Now this is my loss in the cane here. It's not as much as I thought it was going to be, but you can't have that uneven. And that's what that looks like. And that's kind of like scrap. And this is not what it's going to look like. It's going to look a little bit more. You really don't need to pay attention to too much of your ends right now because we're still inside here is what we're trying to get our designs to look like. And this looks like a pretty good cut here. Pretty good time to cut this. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut this down and we're going to take a look-see. Last tutorial I stopped before I did this one. Now you could go like that. You can go like this. You can go like this. And I don't know if I showed you this one or not, but you can go like that. So you have to make up your mind. I'm going to choose this because I'm going to continue to go one more time. I'm making a loss again, so I'm going to take a look at this before I cut it again. And let's not forget, reducing can be done to make these smaller. designs. You don't have to be that small, but that is, to me, very beautiful. It's coming out pretty nice for me. I'm going to cut it probably one more time, but I'll decide that in a minute. I don't want it to get too distorted because I am doing only one cut right now with it. I might stop. But I tell you what, I saw some really neat techniques today that I can't wait to show everyone. Not that this isn't neat. Alright, let's get this. I think I'm going to stop at this one because it's starting to get soft again. And I don't want to stop and put it in the refrigerator because it's too soft. I would rather show you a finished product. Like I did not get a chance to show you completely yesterday without the camera cutting out on me. So let us see what we have here. What I'm going to do is take these pieces off. And now I'm going to put that back up there. I'm going to put this on a piece of parchment paper. And it's going to be hard. I'll tell you what, let me cut my first piece facing me, okay? So I can make sure I'm happy with yeah. Okay. We're good. Alright. What I want to do is as equal as possible. I'm going to make my cuts. Now, some people refer to this as a veneer because what I'm going to actually do is set this like this. This is my scrap. Now your scrap can be any color you want. It's just really technically the back of your pendant, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to line these up as much as we can. Okay, that's not what I want. I want to turn that over here like this. There we go. That's more like it. That's it. Alright. Now what you do over here. And then that's the one. And you just got to pay attention to, you have to line them right up the way you have them matching. And you just push it just a tiny bit. Don't push too much because you don't want to distort that. Now, what we're going to do is varnish. Now first I'm going to varnish with my fingers. Now this is pretty thick. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a very thick cut. You can do paper thin. You can do this thick. I mean, the choice is yours. Okay? And now I'm going to varnish like this. Okay. I'm just not pushing too hard down. I'm going to show you what some of that looks like. That's kind of your varnishing kaleidoscope. And I am doing a vigorously moving vigorously with my acrylic roller, but I'm not pressing. I'm not pressing too hard, I should say. I'm liking it. It's like a blend. Let me buff a little bit more. Okay. Good. Now, with this one here, what I'm going to do, oh, first let me cut this. Let me cut this out. Okay. We're going to move on to making our pendant. You've been doing blends, and as far as I know, you're doing fine. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, let me trim this up here. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. I can see where I could be a little more even. But I like it. I love the color choice. All right. Now, the reason for this is when we use this, okay, a little bit of divot right there. This is going to make it very, very curved, okay? So you won't have to do so much sanding. There won't be so much sanding involved. And what I'm doing now is deciding how I'd like to have my pendant shaped. I'd like to have it like that. Now I'm going to push through here. And the plastic may or may not be cut and come off. And either way, does not matter. Okay? I prefer it didn't, but almost looks like it has gloss on it at this point. Let me see if I can get this off for you. There we go. Pulled right off. Now we still have some left, and if we have a small enough cutter, which I don't have at this time. Okay. Now, what I'll do here is I want to smooth a little bit more, make sure my fingerprints aren't on there. But you can see how that cut right down for me. Made it right into a cabochon. Okay, and share the back. There's my back. Now, very little sanding will be needed after this, if any at all. But I have a feeling there'll be some, just on some of the back edges. Well, because I cut through the plastic, I gotta not be so rough with that. So I want you to know there. Is your Skinner blend. I love it myself. It's my kind of thing. And I'm trying to think what else I can show you. This is a gloss. You can use that on that. And this is no gloss. And you can put yourself just about any kind of trinket on it. You keep in mind though, if you put anything on it at all, you're pressing the clay back down again. So you kind of have to do that gently and maybe take the risk of just going ahead and gluing that on at the end. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. And that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys are watching and you're learning, and I'd love to hear from you. So, bye!